What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Currently along the Schuylkill River Trail this morning, filming with the GoPro Mini 720p, 30 FPS. I've got the Ricoh Chair 3, set to high contrast black and white, photographing in B mode, snap focus infinity, just point and shoot, man. And so, yeah, today I'm wearing the Rogue plate carrier. 20 pounds on the front, 20 pounds on the back. Got the Vibram 5-finger ELX. I swear I just got these and the holes are coming through. Yeah, I love walking around with holes in my shoes for a couple months. It's awesome. It's like, it's the ultimate minimalist lifestyle. It's like, as a street photographer, what should we focus on? Thinking of this sculpture, look at the beautiful posture of this sculpture, right? Maybe our posture, our physical bodies, you know, the way that we carry ourselves through the world is the most critical thing when it comes to this daily practice of street photography, right? The movement of your physical body. You know, we have this spine standing upright, you know, these two legs that get us from point A to point B, right? In this world of planes, bikes, cars, buses, and trains, maybe we should consider the body as the ultimate vehicle, right? Where I am driven by courage, you know, at the forefront. And yeah, perhaps in the realm of photography, a photograph is merely a reflection of your courage, of your heart, of you going out there onto the front lines of life. And so when I consider the body as the vehicle, it reminds me that movement, walking, that's what's gonna get us to our destination. But what if there is no destination, right? What if the destination is an endless trail, an endless road to nowhere, and thriving in that, right? Thriving in the unknown, right? I think of my childhood spent along this Schuylkill River Trail where I would bike for miles on end. You know, I was always the one that would go the furthest. I was always the black sheep. I always had to go on my own. You know, my friends couldn't keep up. I had to just keep going. You know, I just biked from my house all the way to Valley Forge and beyond, and I would explore the bunkers, the log cabins, this National Historic Park, you know, the trails, the monuments, just by myself when I was a young boy, around 11 or 12 years old. You know, no one could really keep up, and I just had to keep going. And I always thrived on my own. I always thrived in solitude. I always thrived in the unknown itself. You know, I remember riding this trail when I was a little kid and just loving that feeling of the wind, you know, just rushing by me, you know, the chaos, the unpredictability of what's around the next bend, and, you know, and just keep pushing your physical body, you know, using that bike and my body, you know, this sort of symbiosis, this combination between me and technology, if you will, to get myself out there. And maybe at this point in time, human beings, we're evolving, right? And I think of evolution perhaps being the ultimate goal of the human being, right? So as we currently wield these cameras, right, where I have a digital camera, a compact digital camera, filming with the GoPro, you know, we use iPhones, we can speak to people across the world, we can use FaceTime. You know, the camera is quite a beautiful tool. And when I consider the way that we even use a vehicle, a bike, a car, a plane, these things are augmenting our reality as we know it, where perhaps it's wise to even just consider ourselves as augmented humans at this point, right? You know, where that lady just passed by with a music box. I just heard her listening to music on her speaker coming right from the iPhone. The things that we use, these tools that we use, they augment our life. And, you know, actually think of the use of the new Neuralink technology by Elon Musk. When the chip is implanted in the brain of the patient, you know, this person is unable to move, right? You're not, you know, fully paralyzed from the ground up, you know, not able to move at all. However, through the movement of the man's eyes, I believe, and the brain, he can control computer technology. He can control different technological devices. And to me, because the chip is plugged into the brain, you know, because we, yeah, I don't know, maybe we should consider that person a cyborg. You know, like maybe the more that we evolve with technology, you know, the less human we become. However, through evolution, maybe through technology and natural biology, we can become more formidable. We can become stronger, harder, faster, you know, better. Think of the shoes that I'm currently wearing, right? Walking barefoot is strengthening my feet. It's strengthening my legs. It's strengthening my spine, my posture, my back, my muscles. Think of the way that the gravity is being forced down on my shoulders right now from this weighted vest, and the 2 plates on my chest and on my back, right? Forcing myself to have my shoulders open, my chest back, and my head up. You know, I'm making an effort to increase my physical strength each and every day through the simple actions that I make, such as removing the shoes, movement, and wearing weights and plates on my physical body. You know, perhaps we can evolve physically as much as we do technologically, and maybe wielding these different machines, these GoPros, these iPhones, these cameras, these computers, these bikes, you know, these vehicles, the Cybertruck, right? Think of the horse and buggy and how we now have these automated self-driving Cybertrucks, right? It's quite an astonishing accomplishment. You know, we have planes. I mean, think about it. When you're flying on a plane, still to this day, when I fly on a plane, I'm like, this is incredible. Like, I'm soaring through the sky right now on this gigantic aluminum or steel plane, and we're flying into space and time, through space and time right now, going from Philadelphia to freaking India or like wherever. And it's like, how is this even possible? Human beings have achieved so much, and we're just evolving at such a rapid rate at this point with technological advancements. And I think that it's a great thing. You know, but I think what happens is, as we evolve, you know, we might be denying the body too much, right? We might be neglecting the physical evolution of the human being. And I'm much more interested in the physical, you know, in the natural, you know, and trying to find ways where I can augment both my body and my mind, right? Simple solution is downloading ChatGPT on the iPhone, using it as a way to study the etymology of words, history, and just have conversations about whatever you're curious about. You know, just sort of cutting through all the distractions, all the noise, thinking of Google and all the advertisements that are promoted on that website, all the different links and rabbit holes you can go down. Yeah, maybe a distraction. However, with ChatGPT, we can now augment the way that we think, augment the way that we write, augment the way that we learn. And perhaps we can do these things at a much faster pace, right? Where we are increasing the bandwidth between our mind and the technology, right? Think of the way that you pull out your iPhone and you simply swipe and click a microphone button, speak to it, and then get delivered information, right? The only thing that's preventing us from becoming a cyborg is the physical technology being implemented within our physical bodies. You know, the Apple Vision Pro was released recently. We have these big goggles now which augment our reality. I believe these things can be extremely useful in terms of surgical performance. I think that's a great advantage for doctors, surgeons. You know, maybe the surgeon is the most important doctor, the most important person in the hospital. And so any technological advancements that can aid surgery is perhaps a really good thing. You know, considering my trips as a child to Valley Forge on my bicycle, and George Washington with his soldiers, you know, where he marched from Valley Forge, I believe, following this Schuylkill River Trail during the Revolutionary War, right? And apparently Washington died. He had a throat problem, something, but the doctors, what they did was they prescribed him with bloodletting. Prescribed, right? That was his prescription. We didn't have any medications. They didn't have any real like surgical advancements at the time, and they literally bled him to death, right? They took Washington, they cut him up, they allowed the blood to be let out of his body, you know, like the leeches sucking the blood, and he's dead now, and they killed him, right? Obviously bloodletting is not a good thing. You know, perhaps blood is energy, you know, flowing through me right now. you know, my blood is rushing right now, right? I have the blood of Achilles rushing through my veins. You know, I feel this like insatiable lust for battle, this lust for life, this power flowing through me. And perhaps the blood and the way that it's pumping right now to my heart and through my veins and through my body is what's keeping me marching. It's what's keeping me moving forward. And you know, the way that we have worked in hospitals and practiced bloodletting is perhaps something to raise questions about, and something that reminds me to be grateful for modernity, grateful for technology and the advancements that we have made throughout human history. You know, where we are no longer hunters and gatherers, I can go to the Costco Business Center and purchase loads of meat and store it in my freezer, and through electricity and the freezer itself preserve the meat for a long period of time, for many months. And I think that these simple pleasures, these simple advancements, we take for advantage, right? We take for granted. And yeah, I just remind myself how grateful I am to be alive currently in the United States of America, in the birthplace of the country, in this great city, Philadelphia, with all these beautiful things around me, all these beautiful green spaces, buildings, people, faces. And yeah, you know, it's like, it reminds me of my time in the Peace Corps service in Zambia, Africa. And unfortunately, in these rural villages, you know, specifically in my village, we did not have much technological advancements on the medical front. And because of this, when somebody is ill, when somebody is sick, people don't really know what to do, right? There's many children that unfortunately die extremely young. And honestly, it's such a heartbreaking thing when you're there and you're witnessing it, and there's nothing that you can really do, right? People gather together with prayer, people practice bloodletting, right? I've seen a man cut his daughter's skin and allow the blood to go. You know, you just hear her crying, and it's like, what can you, it's like, they still practice bloodletting in rural villages in Zambia, Africa. You know, they're cutting the skin of 10-year-old girls and they're bleeding them to death. And you know, I saw the blood in her eyes, you know, and it's just really crazy. I'm just glad to have been born here, I guess. I remember actually traveling to Belize in Central America, and I was with my friend, and we went on a tour riding on these small boats, these little canoes, these little kayaks, I think. We went through a cave, you know, where the Mayans practiced sacrificial rituals where they would kill babies and they would leave their skulls behind in the cave. And I'll never forget seeing those skulls, you know, and the looming shadows casted on the walls, and this very eerie, dark place. And, you know, perhaps over time, the way that we evolve changes everything and changes things for the better. So when I contemplate these things, it makes me optimistic. It makes me feel grateful. It makes me feel optimistic about technology, modernity, and the future, you know, as much as I have my critiques about it because of the way that we use it now, right? Think of recently, everybody has to go back to the office now. No more 3 days on, 2 days off, and working from home in the city of Philadelphia. So the offices are going to be flooded again. People are going to be sitting down for 8 hours per day, surrounded by artificial lighting and air conditioning, weakening their physical bodies, sort of just sitting inside like zoo animals, domesticated. And It's concerning to me. I feel like the city should at least, I feel like they should all just have standing desks. It's like, can we get everyone in the city standing desks? Like, there's something off with the way that we're degrading our physical bodies. You know, I walk around and I just see so many people hunched over. What is everyone hunched over? I think because we're just sitting at the keyboard. It's like we shouldn't even need to use a keyboard and mouse anymore. Like, I feel like the iPhone, the iPad, voice technology, touchscreens, like, that's the future. Or, I don't know, like, I just feel like the way that we do things now with the technology is almost archaic, with a keyboard and mouse, you know, where a keyboard and mouse isn't good for you. Like, anytime I use a mouse and a keyboard, my hands cramp up. It doesn't feel good, even just after a half hour to an hour. It's like, I can't use a computer for too long. I feel weird using it. It's just a very unnatural feeling, right? Imagine giving a computer to somebody millions of years ago and having them hunch over and you know, type away for 8 hours straight. Oh my God, it's kind of funny. A random thought is, apparently people kiss dogs. People kiss their dogs? That's disgusting. What are people kissing dogs for? And they say that, oh, the dog's mouth is cleaner than a human. Get the hell out of here. What are you kissing dogs for? That's disgusting. I've seen people on the trail kissing their dog. Dude, I think that's like one of the weirdest things. What are people kissing dogs for, bro? Get the hell out of here with that sloppy shit. That's disgusting. And yeah, maybe think of Instagram and using Instagram. Like, imagine waking up in the morning and just checking your Instagram. It's like, that's the equivalent of like waking up and like taking a shit, and like the shit, it just like smears everywhere and you like can't get it off. It's like on the paper, it's on your hand now, right? Like, I see it's on my hand now, and then I'm gonna put it on my face, and then it's just all over the place. You just can't get it off. So it's like, yeah, do you want to have poop on your face? Yeah, maybe just delete it. Disconnect from it. Do you want poop on your face? Delete your Instagram. Get the poop off your face. Yeah, so consider the body as the ultimate vehicle. The motivation is within your legs. Keep moving, don't sit still. How to evolve? Walk more. Think physical, think of ways to augment your physical body through strength and technology, through biology and computers, you know. Think of evolution more and how we can become stronger, harder, faster from the ground up. And within the realm of photography, the ultimate goal is to walk more and to photograph more. So maybe we should think of how we can increase our strength to get us there. Beautiful, beautiful day. So nice today here in Philadelphia.